Ben was thinking about his friend. Not about the real thing, but rather about the collective image that sits in his head. This guy's name was Joe. Joe grew up listening to the same advice Ben heard. Save for a rainy day. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Don't buy a latte. And Joe was disciplined. He worked as an engineer for 45 years. He drove used cars. He lived in a modest house. He regularly saved money into his retirement account every year. When his friends left for Europe in their 20s, Joe stayed at home and invested the money. When his family wanted to renovate the kitchen at the age of 40, Joe said, "Not yet. We need to be confident about tomorrow." At the age of 65, Joe finally retired with a fortune of $2.5 million. He did it. He won the game. But then the unthinkable happened. 2 years after retiring, Joe suffered a massive stroke. He spent the next 3 years in hospitals, unable to walk, travel, or enjoy what he had been waiting for 45 years. He died at the age of 70. When the manager of his estate looked at his bank account, the balance on it was $2,800,000. While he was ill, the market grew. Now the society looks at Joe and says, "Wow, what a successful person. He died a millionaire." But Ben looks at this story and sees a tragedy. He sees a man who has worked tens of thousands of hours in tension, commuted to and from work, sacrificed himself for money that he never used. From the point of view of the laws of economics, Joe did not win. He lost. He spent 45 years of his life energy accumulating chips that he never cashed out. My name is Ben, and today we're going to talk about the most controversial, inconvenient, and mathematically sound philosophy of personal finance: die with zero. This concept, popularized by Bill Perkins, suggests that your goal should not be to increase your capital until you die. Your goal should be to live out the rest of your life with exactly $0 in your account. If you die with $100,000 remaining, it's not an airbag. This is a job that you did for free. It's the time you spent at the office, not with your family. It sounds scary. Ben knows that people are programmed to hoard, but if you stay with him, he will show you the mathematics of vital energy, the science of memory dividends, and explain why being the richest corpse in a cemetery is a complete failure in resource management. The first thing to understand is what money really is. We treat money as a goal. Ben looks at his balance app and gets a dopamine buzz as the number grows. But money is not the goal. Money is a tool. It is a reserve of vital energy. You're trading your time, your finite hours on Earth, for money. If Ben spent 2,000 hours of his life making $100,000 and then died without spending it, he didn't just save. He worked those 2,000 hours for free. He was a slave to the system. He sacrificed a year of his life for the sake of a number on the screen, which disappeared at the moment of cardiac arrest. This brings us to the utility curve of money. Standard financial advice assumes that a dollar is always worth a dollar, no matter when you spend it. But this is biologically incorrect. Ben imagines 3 monkeys. One is 25 years old. The other is 45. The third was 85. Ben gives them each $10,000 and says, "Spend it on a ski trip to the Swiss Alps." The 25-year-old takes the money and drives. He rides on difficult trails, lives in a hostel, meets people, and hangs out until morning. The joy he gets from these 10,000 is enormous. The 45-year-old is driving. He likes it, but his knees are already aching. He lives in a normal hotel because the hostel is already uncomfortable. My head is full of thoughts about work. His pleasure is lower, and now he's 85. Does he know how to ski? Probably not. Will it withstand the height? Unlikely. That 10,000 could turn into just sitting in a cocoa house for him. The amount is the same, but the value has dropped. That's biology. With age, the ability to turn money into pleasure decreases. There are 3 variables in life: health, time, and money. At the age of 20, you have health and time, but no money. 50 has money and health, but no time. At 80, you have money and time, but no health. The die with zero philosophy says that saving at 80 is pointless because your ability to consume is at a minimum. You're saving money for a version of yourself that can't play it anymore. Why are we saving up at all? 2 reasons: the fear that the money will run out and the children. First, about fear. Ben hears, "I don't want to eat cat food at the age of 90. I need $1 million to be safe." The risk of longevity is real. No one wants to be left with zero at 75 and live to 95. But Die with Zero is not about zero on retirement day. It's about zero on the day of death. The solution is not to accumulate extra millions, but to ensure. If you're afraid of living too long, you buy an annuity. You give the insurance company the amount, and it pays you until you die. Whether you're 80 or 110, it's a hedge, and saving an extra $500,000 just in case is ineffective. This keeps the capital that could be spent on living as long as you have the strength. Now about the children. Ben hears it all the time. I'm saving up for the kids. It's noble, but the data says something else. The average age of inheritance is 60 years. If you die at 85, your children are most likely in their 50s or 60s. Do they need money at 60? The mortgage is paid. The children have grown up. They are retired themselves. An inheritance at 60 is just a nice bonus. But if they had received this money at 30, it would have changed their lives. Down payment on the house, startup capital for a business, repayment of loans. The philosophy of Die with Zero says, give away the inheritance during your lifetime. Let me know when it's really important. Don't wait until you cool down. Serve with a warm hand. You will see their joy. This is also a happiness that you should not deprive yourself of. How to apply it? We need a concept of memory dividends. We think that experience is fleeting. I went on vacation, came back, no money, but this is not the case. Experience is an asset. When you travel, learn to play the guitar, take your kids to Disneyland. This memory pays dividends every time you think about it. You tell stories, you're looking at a photo, you're laughing. Like compound interest on an exchange, memory dividends grow over time. If you went on a trip at 25, you have 60 years of memories. If you go to 65, you'll get 15 years. From a mathematical point of view, postponing experience means reducing its profitability. Therefore, Ben advises to abandon the wish list, which is gathering dust in the drawer. Instead, it's a time frame. Draw a lifeline. Break it down into 5-year plans. 30, 35, 35, 40, 40, 45. And put your goals in these segments. Do you want to go skiing in Japan? This is in the range up to 40. Your knees will thank you. Do you want to take your kids camping? Until they become teenagers and don't want to talk to you. That's 35 or 45. When you break down the goals by time, you'll realize a scary thing. It's not the money you're running out of. You're running out of time. The windows of opportunity are closing. Let's look at the math of spending. We can save, but we can't spend. There is a moment when capital should stop growing and start decreasing. For many, this happens much earlier than they think, in their 40s or 50s. If you're 55 and your capital is still growing, you're working for free. You've already won the game, but you keep running because you don't know how to turn off the track. Calculate your survival rate. How much is needed for basic living and medicine until the age of 95? All that's on top is not savings. This is consumer capital. You need to spend it, give it away, or lose it. Ben suggests an audit. If you died today, how much would you have in the account? Let's say $50,000. Now ask yourself, what did you give up this year to save that $50,000? Did you miss a meeting with friends? Did you buy the cheapest transfer ticket for 14 hours? Didn't you give your child to music? If you die today, that $50,000 will become a monument to everything you didn't allow yourself. Ben doesn't call for being reckless. If you have debts, this video is not for you. But if you've already saved up, if you feel guilty every time you spend $1, understand that the goal of life is not to score more points by the finish line. The goal is to play the game. Joe's tragedy is not that he died. Everyone is dying. The tragedy is that he postponed his life for the future, which did not come. He traded his best years for statistics. Don't be Joe. Count your numbers. Buy the experience. Give money to your children while they can use it. Get memory dividends. Your legacy is not a number in the account. Your legacy is the memories you left behind for those you loved and those that are stored in your own head. Die without regrets. Die with zero. If this philosophy has offended you or made you reconsider plans for a trip that you've been postponing, click like. My name is Ben, and I want you to be rich in life, not just on paper. Subscribe. We will hack the system further. See you in the next video.